Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say that we are doing okay. I can't complain. Our patient is on the path of recovery. She's recuperating well. Those who have continued to support us during this time, I want to say thank you very much. Talking of illness, the former IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati is trending for the better part of the day at number 1, and this is because there are news that Wafula Chebukati could be suffering some illness and that he was flown out of the country secretly to receive treatment. And this news is now turning out to be more true than just a rumor. It started yesterday, but now the mainstream media is confirming the same, that our sources reveals that IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati has been airlifted secretly to Germany to receive special treatment. Till now, the IEBC chairman is on its worst health condition. That is what the Citizen media is reporting. Now, Chebukati is human and it's very normal to be sick. He is also 61 years old, and that tells you that at that age there are several diseases that could be associated with his age. And you all understand that Chebukati is a former public officer and a man who attracts a lot of interest. But at the same time, he is a family man. He's got his private life. And so with all this consideration, Kenyans would really want to know what is the official position of the family and that of the government. Is Chebukati sick? Because the sources indicate that this is not just sickness, but he could be suffering from a serious illness that attracts special attention. Now, his sickness is coming at a very precarious moment, and it is really raising eyebrows. Kenyans are very, very ridiculous. Now, many times when one is sick, people would gather around to pray for him. People would even take to the social media to wish him or her quick recovery. But Wafula Chebukati's news that he is sick is one that is attracting even more bad news. Most of the Azimio supporters are even baying for his blood. In fact, they're praying that he should have been dead as early as yesterday. And this makes me very sad that Wafula is a father, he's a husband, he's a family man. And when he's sick, people should be praying for him, but in this moment people wish that he would be dead. And this is because Wafula Chebukati is one person who has presided over 3 elections, all of which were really contested, including in 2017 when the former Chief Justice David Emeritus Maraga nullified that election, that it was not done in accordance with the Constitution. In the just concluded election, where Wafula Chebukati of course was the chairman, there are demands that the server be opened so that we know who won the elections. And this tells you that the 3 elections that Wafula Chebukati presided over might have been rigged. He might have presided over a bungled and rigged elections. And this is the reason why Kenyans are disappointed, and they don't have any slightest sympathy or an iota of empathy. And they're saying that he should be dead. But I say it's sad. This is a lesson to most of our public officers, because to be in a public office, especially the sacred office such as the one that Chebukati was heading, it calls for sobriety and honesty and steadfastness. One who does not listen or bow down to pressure from the executive. Because you ask many Kenyans, they will tell you that Chebukati and William Samoei Ruto had crafted a plan long before the 2022 presidential elections, and it is believed that they connived together to rig that election. And of course, that is the reason why people are mad. You know, it reminds me of some years back when the wife of a former IEBC commissioner went ill and then she finally passed on. Kenyans took to the social media and started telling the former IEBC the former IEBC commissioner, that very commissioner, that he should accept that death, that the death was free and fair, because this came at a time when Raila had lost that election, maybe it was rigged or something, and they told Raila, accept and move on. It was during that moment when there was accept and move on. So they told this commissioner that this death was free and fair, accept and move on. They kept on telling him nasty things, it's free, verifiable death, things of that kind. Now Chebukati is almost meeting the same fate. And I was checking what people are saying in social media. They are saying that Wafula Chebukati will be forgotten as soon as he dies, and that he will be forgotten just like his ECK chairman Samuel Kivuitu, because Kivuitu also presided over what was thought to be a very rigged election in 2007. People went to the streets, people died, and many still feel that he was haunted by the blood that was shed. Later, of course, he said that he did not know who won that elections. He was not sure whether Kibaki won those elections. The sickness of Wafula Chebukati is coming at a time when two things are happening. Raila Odinga is leading an onslaught against this government, that they rigged an election and they want him to open the server. And Raila is saying that Chebukati is the chief culprit and that he belongs to the Hague. Raila is daring them to open the server to challenge his demands and allegations. It is also coming at a time when the IEBC office is vacant, and they are in the process, the government is in the process of recruiting new office bearers. And Raila is also saying that William Ruto is trying to unilaterally get people who will be in that office, people who will help aid his victory through hook and crook in 2027, and is saying that they must include all the stakeholders. Raila wants to be included in the process. And that is why I was saying that whoever is coming in that office must be very careful, because that office is hot potato. It is not very easy. There are several vested interests, especially the executive would want someone who will dance to the tune. In the last elections, William Ruto suffered legitimacy issues, which is still suffering to date, because 4 of the 7 commissioners disintegrated and disagreed with the official position of Wafula Chebukati. I want to submit to you that Wafula Chebukati could be naturally sick. As I said earlier, it is normal to be sick. But it is raising eyebrows because he has been airlifted secretly. Maybe they don't want people to know. Like I said earlier, he has his private life. But as Kenyans, this is a former public officer who was being maintained by exchequer, taxpayers' money. Even now, in his retirement status, he's still earning a lot of money courtesy of the taxpayers. So we should really know what is happening with Wafula Chebukati. But I want to give you a twist to this. If at all Wafula Chebukati presided over a rigged election, he is a man under siege, because Raila is really piling pressure. And the number one witness in the whole of this saga is Wafula Chebukati. And if at all there are people who are protecting him to do this, they could even sacrifice Wafula Chebukati, because he's the one who holds the key to the truth, to what really happened in the August elections. And Wafula, if you saw him, he was a man who became very arrogant and very proud. After those elections, he recommended the ouster and the removal of the Cherera 4 commissioners, saying that they wanted to subvert the will of the people. And so I have a feeling that if he is not careful, he could be sacrificed to avert justice. In some years back, Some years back, when the former Foreign Affairs Minister's Ouko was dead and the investigation started, it is believed that those who knew his death also died as a result of the investigations. And one person who is being mentioned is the then permanent secretary in the Ministry of Internal Security, Hezekiah Oyugi, who was almost his brother. They both came from Nyanza. When it became apparent that Hezekiah Oyugi was one person who remained as a witness, it is believed that the state assassinated him. And this is why I'm saying that Chebukati should be very careful, because if at all he presided over a rigged election, he could suffer the same fate as Hezekiah Oyugi. And his sickness is secret. He has been secretly airlifted, and he should be very, very careful. But the other thing that is coming out as even Kenyans celebrate, most of the Zimri supporters, it tells William Ruto that this country is divided right in the middle. William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua must understand that they took over a nation that is really divided, and they must try and unite this country. But I can't see that happening, because from their utterances, they keep on dividing this nation by saying that if you did vote for them, that you don't have shares in this nation. It is very sad, and this is a lesson even to William Samoei Ruto. Of late, they have said that William Ruto's health is also wanting, and people are saying that, I personally, from where I sit, I believe it is the stress and the tension being caused by the position and the legitimacy issues, because here he is at the center of everything. He can't open the server. He can't prove to the people that he won the election. All that he can say is that we are done with the elections, and anyone who's telling us to open the server is playing around with us. Yet people are saying, why can't we just open the server to see if William Ruto really won? So, ladies and gentlemen, from where I sit, we must know, let the government maybe tell us if this is true. And I know it is a very precarious moment, but as always, we wish him all the best to receive his treatment. And this is my take.